Ever wondered what are the advantages of handmade soap over soaps made with machines? Today we'll be discussing the advantages and disadvantages of handmade soap compared to those made with machine. Then apart from that, you will use that opportunity to learn how to cut soap using the sliding soap cutter. This soap we are cutting was made during a physical training. We made the soaps and then the very next day they were ready to be cut. So we made 4 different types of soaps which we are going to cut now, and we will use the opportunity to also listen to what I have to say. Okay, so now let's talk about our handmade soap, which most of us make. Okay, most of us, we are into making handmade soaps. So what are the advantages it has and what are some of the disadvantages it has? Okay, so some of the advantages it has is that you need a low capital to start. You don't need to amass millions. Depending on your capacity and your plan, 50,000, 20,000, you can start. Buy the most basic things. There's some of the containers you have in the house, you repurpose them. You decide to pick some of them and keep them dedicated for soap making. You can start and the recipes are very simple, both for the soap and the machine made, but generally for soap making, the recipe can be very simple because things around you can use to make soap. Then another thing is that the soap, you can make it anyhow you want. You can make your soap smooth, like the soaps we are cutting here. You can see all of them are smooth. Okay, you can make designs like this design that we are making, this blue and pink. It's not easy to do this with machine. That's why I see most soaps that are made with machine, they are usually one color. It's not as if it cannot be made, though. It's not as if it cannot be achieved. Okay, and you can also decide to make your soap look rugged. So you have a variety of, you have a choice to choose to twist your soap the way you want. I know of a woman that was making her soaps to look like rocks, as in rocks, rough rocks, and she was not using a mold. You understand? That is something that cannot be achieved with a plodder, with machine-made soaps. Okay, then you can manipulate colors, just as I said here, that you can see us using a variety of colors here. So with handmade soap, you can manipulate, you can use like 10 colors if you like. You can make different designs, layers, you can make swirls, you can make dots, anything you want. Okay, you can make, as I said again, you can manipulate colors, you can make swirls with handmade soap, which is not easy to make with plodder. You can make fancy designs with handmade soap, which are not easy to make with plodder. You can decide that in the middle of your soap you put an apple, or you can decide that you design a house in the form of a soap. You can decide to put beautiful flowers. When somebody uses the flower, your soap, a flower will come up. Sorry for that. As I said, the person will use your soap, then the shape of the flower will come out. Okay, so these are things you can easily do with handmade soap. Then another advantage of handmade soap is you can do everything 100% manual. 100%. You can decide not to use electricity at all. You can decide not to use any machine at all. You can decide to use everything using your hands, and the soap will come out well. Okay, then apart from that, you can start your soap making journey alone. If you're using handmade soap, you can decide to be a one-man gang. Start a company alone. That is when you're starting small. Then as you grow, you either involve your family members or you employ. But with machine made, you can't start alone. You can't operate the machines, offload, cut, everything alone. No, it's more capital intensive. Okay, then as I said, it can be way easily customized compared to machine made. With handmade soap, anybody can come and say, use so oil, do so design, you do. Make so quantity, this is my desire, you can do. But somebody that have machine you cannot just manipulate machine like that. You understand? It's not easy. Okay, you can add almost anything you want. You can add a lot of ingredients to handmade soap. Machine made soap, you can't just put anything anyhow. You don't add all these things are some of the things we used to put, all this STPP, sulfate, all these things, all made that we used to add it to handmade soap. You can't do it like that with plodder soaps. So handmade soap is easy to customize, it's easy to personalize, it's easy to make it into what you want. Okay, almost any ingredient you can add into it. So at this juncture, let me introduce myself. I am Zesta Herbal Soap Skincare and Lifestyle. I teach soap making, cream making. I teach different things that are useful to us as individuals, to our families and our communities. If you're just coming across our channel, thank you for stopping by. If you're an old subscriber, you're welcome. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for subscribing. I love you all. So before we proceed, I would like you to know we also have online classes for those that are interested. We teach more than 16 courses, from liquid soaps, bathing soaps, paste soaps, body creams, how to take care of your children's skin, how to handle hyperpigmentation, how to make your own cartons, screen printing on your own. All we handle that. We also have free classes that you can join on Telegram. So if you know you're interested in all this, our number is on the screen. You can chat us up, okay? Or you can just send me a DM. Thank you so very much. So let's continue. Another advantage is you can make a more healthier soap with handmade. You can make soap that have more value, more ingredients, because it can take more ingredients. So you can make soap that has more value. Like even some of these lightening soaps, especially the type they make with hand, though, not the one that they put mercury and all those. You can easily do them with handmade soap and add things anyhow you want, compared to machine made. Okay, depending on, then another advantage is depending on how far you want to go, you can use less workforce with handmade soaps compared to machine. Okay, depending on how big you want to go, how you plan to make your soap journey look like, you can decide to use less hands. You employ less people compared to machine made. Even though another thing is you end up getting, most of the time you end up putting getting out less. For example, a machine can bring out 100 cartons a day. You as a human being, you might not be, even with a large workforce, it might be very difficult for you, except if you're really willing to employ a large number of people, let's say 20 or thereabout. Okay, so then no electricity is used in handmade soap. You can decide to do it without electricity or with less electricity. Okay, you don't need you don't need to buy a large gen, buy all these big gen, large equipment. No, you don't need that. Okay, so these are just some of the few advantages. Can you see how beautiful that soap is? Can you see the lines we put on the soap? So now the next thing, let's discuss the disadvantages. Okay, the disadvantage of using handmade soap is it is slower. You cannot work as fast as somebody that has machine. So therefore, you also have a lower turnout. Okay, you also have a lower turnout compared to somebody using machines, although depending on the machine. Okay, then even the handmade soap could be more expensive than even using the plodder, or less expensive depending on the recipe you're using. and depending on what you're producing. That's why you see commercial soaps, they don't always have much ingredients compared to we that use hand to make soap. Because commercial soap, most of the time you see how they'll put glycerin, soap base, perfume, color. Only few, the ones that even put real this thing, only few put a lot of things inside. And even when they do that, they sell it separately and more expensive, usually to only some target stores. Okay, but most of us that make handmade soap, we end up putting a lot of things into our soaps that most people that do soap commercially will not add, and even at an amount that they will not add. Okay, so the disadvantage is that it could be more expensive eventually, or less depending on the recipe you're using. Okay, it is not easy to accept handmade soaps into the general market, except if you have a set of customers that appreciate and understand what you're doing. But most of the time when you make soap with plodder, because the soaps are usually more beautiful, more streamlined, more well packaged, it's easy to just enter the market and you get people to accept them easily. Compared to us that will make our soap with hand, you're using hand packaging, maybe the cotton myself, it is not that neat. Even though the soap has value, some people might look down on it until later on when they get to know that, this soap is good, though. Do you understand? But generally, it's more easy to accept soap made with plodder into the market. Then, you don't get orders easily, except if you've already achieved a name for yourself. Somebody that have a plodder can easily sit down. Somebody will say, make so soap for me. You will be the one making it for me. Put my logo, put my everything. Me, my own is just to sell. You understand? I do get people that ask me for that, but because I don't have a plodder, I end up losing some orders. Because at times, even what they want me that I'm doing with hand, I might not be able to achieve it easily. So I'd rather let that business deal go off, because I can't stress myself. I don't have the capacity to be able to produce for them the way they want. Okay, so then another thing is the slower rate of turnout with handmade soaps, especially if you don't have a large workforce. There is a limit to what you can produce. Okay, there's a limit. Okay, so what do you have to say on these few points I've made? If you have anything to add, you can add. Maybe there's something I've missed. Okay, you can add it up for us so that we all learn together. But from my point of view, these are some of the few I can list out for you all. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And don't forget, we have our classes, our online classes on Telegram. You can join us. We teach soap making, cream making, hyperpigmentation class, how to take care of your kids, different courses. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you. If you need this cutter, you can meet us. We have different cutters. We have more than 4 cutters, and we can easily customize also for you if you want. Okay, so you can see this is the foaming test of the soap. The soap is foaming beautifully. Okay, and you can see the colors of the soap came out. The brown soap came out, the baking soap, the multipurpose soap, all came out well. Okay, so as I said earlier on, if you're interested in joining us, we are available. If you need a cutter, we have. If you want to order anything from us, hair care products, skin care products, all we have. Thanks for staying and watching us. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for coming by our channel and watching our videos. Thank you so very much. I love you all. Ciao.